Good evening, good morning, good dawning, good afternoon, whatever time it is. Welcome to the show. My name is Daniel Duwa. This is Conversation with Daniel Duwa. And tonight, I'm just going to get right to it because I'm really excited. This is one of the most fun conversations I've ever had. We laughed through it all. Let me just introduce you already to my guest tonight. Her name is Nienke Nasserian. I hope I got that right because I'm struggling with that name. I struggle with names and certain words. Characteristics is one of them. And in true character, Nasserian is from the Netherlands. Her father is from Tanzania. And there's all that mix. And she is a soprano and classical music performer. She's done a lot of projects already. But her notable projects are 3 albums, Mtoto, Masai, and Mzungu. I'm going to be leaving links so that you can go and get her music. And also, if you're in Europe, if you're in the Netherlands, whatever place she's playing, please check her calendar. Also, link that. If you can join her, that would be really great. In the meantime, I want to really get to this conversation because it's really awesome. And I want to thank you for joining me and joining Nasserian tonight on Conversation with Daniel Duwa. Thank you for being here. Let's get to it already. Enjoy. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. How you doing? Nice to see you finally. I think you've muted something. I can't hear you. That's a great start.
Hello?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, my notifications, which is strange, I never had notifications at all. So let me just turn those off, please. It's very strange. I never have any notifications because my do not disturb is always on, always. So I'm wondering how these are coming on. Okay, and the network can go off and on sometimes. It's not a perfect world for some reason. Yeah. So hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
Sorry about the confusion. I mean,
No, for me, I was also thinking like I've just been in Africa, but I just mixed it up like +2 or -2, and I don't know.
but I think it was my fault because I'm going to be very honest. I haven't slept in 4 days. Last night I was editing until today in the morning, and then I had to attend a conference. So it's my fault. I mean, I never mix up times.
I always do, so I thought it was my fault.
No. You know, one thing I always tell people is I've never met a person who's missed their exams or missed a flight. Never met a person like that. So, yeah. Nice to meet you. You're so cheerful.
Thank you.
That's a good thing.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, before we start, how do you say your name?
Nienke.
Nienke
Nasserian.
Okay, there is no way I can say that. Do you have a nickname?
And Nasserian? Does that work?
Nasserian. My pronunciation is horrible.
It's okay.
That's why I do podcasts. I get a chance to talk because when I was as a child, I could not talk for the longest time.
Okay.
So I learned talking, mimicking television, and then talking to others. Yeah. So that's how.
That's really nice. That's a good way.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. So Nienke. Okay.
Nienke.
If I practice long enough, I can do this because I was in radio for a while. So I mean, you learn to do it. I know most people find this extremely difficult and scary because they're like, how will I just talk to a stranger about what exactly? Send me notes. I like the way you just jumped in, the way I jump in and just. Yeah.
I think we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So now that I cannot speak, that's one of the most difficult things. What's one of the most difficult things for you to do or not to do, let's say?
A difficult thing to do? I guess there are many things, but I'm now thinking what it is. I don't know.
No, you can't come up with one right now.
No, I don't know.
That's a good thing because I feel like your life is full of stuff, yeah? probably we just start with that introduction. Let's get to know you a little bit.
I am Nienke Nasserian. I am 28 years old. I live in the Netherlands. My father is from Tanzania. I have a lot of brothers and sisters there. In Holland, I have one sister. I'm a singer, a classical singer, so that's my job. I love to be connected with people and on stage to feel the connection with the audience. I love stories, personal stories. I love food. I love dancing. I think that's it.
And traveling.
And traveling, yes.
Yeah, because I met you in travel, so there's that.
Definitely, traveling as well.
Were you born in the Netherlands or you were born in Tanzania?
Born in the Netherlands. After 2 months, after I was 2 months old, we went to Tanzania, and I stayed there until I was 2, and then I grew up in the Netherlands.
So your Swahili is not as good as mine?
Yes, I can only say habari, mzuri, like the basic stuff, but not much.
Why did you go back to the Netherlands at such a young age? Because you came from the Netherlands, went to Tanzania, and then you had to go back.
My mom, she worked as a doctor in Tanzania, and then it was difficult. The relationship with my father was difficult, and her work, I don't know, there was something with her employee, and it was also difficult. So then she decided to go back to the Netherlands.
Is that a very difficult part to think about, or you don't have memory of that?
No, I don't have memory. I can't remember a thing. No.
Sorry. There's a delay in the line, so it might seem like I'm talking over you. I'm sorry about that. So did you get to know your father? Eventually?
Not really. I have met him like a few times when I was 9. It was the first time I went back to Tanzania with my mom, but only for a holiday because I was in school, so only a few weeks we were there. And then after, when I was 18, then my sister from Holland, she was there as well with my mom. So the 3 of us were there. I went with a friend of me when I was 23, and then with my boyfriend when I was 24, and then now in January that my father passed away. So
sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's difficult not having a dad in your life in that way. But then there's those people who say it helps your creative process. Like you have to take that somewhere, and you're a classical singer. So Is there a relationship? Do you think there's a relationship there between not knowing your dad as a young kid and becoming a singer eventually? Because your mom is a doctor, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the musicality, do you say it like that? Like I got that, a little bit from my mom, but I thought a lot of it also from my father, I think. The storytelling is also a part of Tanzania, a part of the Maasai. I use the material, like I use the story and in my singing, but also in my theater making to tell a story about my life.
Yeah, it's challenging, right? What's the Maasai connection?
My father was Maasai.
Oh, he was Maasai.
Yeah.
That's a great life story, It will make a great movie.
Yes.
A Dutch woman meets a Maasai, a Dutch doctor woman meets a Maasai man.
Yes.
And they make you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they met at an airport.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of a film setting. So my mom was waiting for my grandparents. They were visiting. And my father was there going on a business trip or something. And then they both had delay. So my mother was kind of stressed and my father was just chilling and waiting. And then they met each other and were talking and made it like a strange, fake appointment. Let's meet 2 weeks. And then it happened like it's there at the same time. And then they started dating.
Wow, amazing. That's very 1960 movies. You know, the
Yes,
way
I know.
Casablanca and
Yes.
yeah, let's meet at this. Okay, they didn't have mobile phones, so you had to make.
Yeah, no, they really had to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. Well, mobile phones like spoiled dating, so
Yes, yeah, maybe, yeah.
So my question would be, whose character have you taken? I mean, have you taken your dad's patient or your mom's worry at that airport scene, they say?
I can be kind of stressed, but I also can be very relaxed. So it's it's really a in between thing. I try to be more peaceful than stressed out, but occasionally I'm still like if I'm busy or I don't know when there's too much on my plate going on, then I I really need to keep breathing. Let's say so a little bit of both.
Oh, amazing, amazing. As I grow older, I'm learning to be calm and just, like calm and just chill.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, everybody was leaving the country, and I decided to stay to create entertainment and technology, that kind of thing. And I felt like you have to do stuff all the time. You know, calming is really difficult. Just chilling is really, really difficult.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And how did you become a singer, though? I'm still wondering about that.
Yeah, when I was a child, I went to a choir. So there was a church choir. I don't know. I think I was 8 years old or something like that, around that. And then my grandfather, the father of my mother, he played the clarinet. It was black colored with silver.
Wait, you played a clarinet as a child?
Yes.
Because your grandfather played it?
Yeah, and I could choose between a clarinet and a flute, like
Yes.
the flute
Yes.
and the clarinet. But because my grandfather played it, I thought that would be nice. Then he can teach me a little bit, and we can. And it was also with the flute I couldn't have any sound, and with the clarinet, the first lesson I could have sound. So I thought, okay, this is for me.
Wow, and it was a great bonding moment with your grandfather also together.
Yes, yes. So it was like perfect instrument. And then I had lessons till I was 18, I think. And when I was 15, I started with singing lessons because I wanted to play in musical theater. But my singing teacher, I had first a singing teacher and I did a little bit of jazz, and then I had a different singing teacher. Then I did a little bit of pop music. But then I got a new teacher, and he was from the classical school, and then the singing as well. I liked that a lot, and I decided to continue with classical singing from so I think I'm from 17 or something.
What is classical singing exactly? Like classical music?
Yeah, classical music. Ideally, it's without a mic. You need
like
to
opera,
have a lot of.
Let's say.
Yes, opera. Yeah.
So my question is, you're 17 years old and you're singing opera. I'm assuming kids your age are singing pop music.
Yeah.
And how did you deal with that?
I don't know. I just liked it. I think also because when I started conservatory, I was 19, I think, and then you have a lot of people in your class that are doing the same thing. So that is really nice and really, a good environment to develop the voice.
You seem to really like community, and you had that bonding moment with your grandfather, and then now with you bonded with your community and you didn't look outwards. Is that what keeps you focused even then and now, let's say?
Yes, I think music is just a good way to bond with people because it's like a universal language. It's above language. Sometimes you sing in a language, of course, but it's above that because you get so easily to the emotion and to the connection. I don't know. I just like it, and especially when you're on stage. Now I had a project with children, and they react so, I don't know how to say, so like spontaneous and so enthusiastic. And also when they don't like it, they just say, I don't like it. But they are really like committed with the story. They are really in the story. And that was really nice to experience.
Yeah, they become part of part of your process, and you discovering it together, kind of like what we're doing right now. We're just having a conversation.
Every conversation, yes, yeah. And you react to each other, and you get energized by each other, and it's really, that's, I think that you are creating something in the moment. I think that's the nicest thing to do. The nicest thing to do in the world.
Yeah. I personally think music is very, very spiritual. Like that's the connection. Like you say, it's above language. It has this thing that you can't touch. I feel sorry for people who've never had a relationship with any type of music. Like it doesn't matter what you listen to, because once you have that feeling, you have that connection, nobody can take it away. Whether you're sad, happy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you're 17 years old. You're at the conservatoire. You are playing with a community now. What happens next from there?
It was in 6 years or 7 years, kind of, that I was at school, and then in 2018, I started working kind of in the music, like trying to work, have little concerts, projects, and that's still continuing to perform. And of course now with COVID, it was really difficult because all the theaters were closed and it was just not possible. And I think like it's, for everyone, it was of course a really difficult time. And now in Holland now, I think 1 week or something, the theaters are open again. So that's really, really nice. Yes. And it's living, and we can perform, we can be on stage again. So that's really nice. Yeah, but it's really like, I think in music or in as an artist, as an entertainer, you always have like sometimes it's really busy, sometimes you have nothing to do. And then it's like, how do you say this?
Like a seesaw.
Yeah. It's like all or nothing.
A friend of mine used to say, it's all house or nothing.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's no, we gotta be good. Yeah.
It's not a really structured like 9-to-5 job. Like it's just busy or not busy. And I think sometimes that can be challenging, but I also like it because I like that you don't have, that it can't be really boring. You understand? It's not really possible to be boring, and
exactly.
I like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally understand. You get so happy when you talk about music. Have you ever done anything else? Like, because you're so passionate. Like, you talk about pandemic like this, and then you talk about, we're performing again. You get really, really excited. Yeah. As if the first time you heard instrument to your grandfather or being at the conservatoire. This is your passion, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I try to study every day to improve my classical singing. And of course, it's not always happening. Like, sometimes I forget to study, but I try to study every day, and it can be very annoying if you think it's too slow, it gets too slow to a certain level, or if I'm kind of a perfectionist and really critical of myself, so it can be really lonely in a way. And then it's really nice to get like the applause, the people that are saying, "Oh, it's nice," and that's really kind of difficult to say it in English.
Say it in Dutch. We can translate.
Yeah, opladen. You can charge. You can charge, and you can have like a few weeks again of hard studying and working and a bit difficult, but then you get the applause again, and then you think, yes, that's where I do it for. So when there was no performing, I thought, why am I doing this? I don't like this. I got a little bit in a negative vibe because I didn't give the appreciation to myself. So that it was also really a learning moment that I need to be less critical.
Or it could be you lost your community because with your grandfather, you had a community at the school with your mom. You're locked down, but now there's no performance, so you feel pulled in.
Yes.
Another you spoke about that, you just reminded me of high performance. Rally drivers, engineers, and Nobel Prize winners, they do it every day. When I was 13 years old, I discovered this and I started writing poetry every day. I didn't know what poetry was, but I wrote every day. Would you say that for you to be the person you are, you have to be very critical? That applause that you get on stage is the most human thing that you get. And if you didn't have that, then it becomes a big problem. Would you say that?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's also, I think, a way to improve. Like if you're critical, it's good because then if everything is always good, then you have nothing to learn. Yeah. So it can be meaningful in a way. It can help you to get to a certain goal. But you have to be kind as well, and you have to be soft for yourself as well, because otherwise you can't continue. Like if you are always really strict and really tough and it has to be more, blah, 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 then it's not possible to continue. And you have to have a certain, and at least in classical music, you really have to, I think your whole life you have to keep studying. It's never finished. Yeah. So you have to find a way that you can keep it going until the end.
Yeah. So one or two things. The first one is you are one half of two. So you're Dutch, but you're also Tanzania. And you've been to Tanzania. It's very, we can call it calm. In Kenya, we call it very slow, because we're like, okay, why does everything takes forever to be done? Why are people like, why is everybody in my business? Why are they all saying hello to me? In Nairobi, we're very friendly, but stay out of my business, So I'm seeing the Dutch in you. Where is the, okay, the laughter is very Tanzania, by the way. Where is the Tanzanian in you?
But sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Where is the Tanzanian in you?
Yes, I think it's still a search because I grew up in a white family. My mom was white, her new husband was also white, and my sister. And also in Limburg, it's in the south of Holland, so it was like the whole area was really white, which is not a problem, but I think it's really a search to nourish. I will call it the black side of me, because that's also what you're saying. I'm half of, or both. Like I have two things that I have to nourish and have to, it needs to be in balance. So I think the white side was kind of big nourished, like it was a very fat child, let's say. And the black side is still needs to be more developed, I think. And I try to do that with dancing and with listening to African music, Tanzanian music, but also just talk with my family, of course. But it's really a way of living that and also to keep what you were saying, like the slowness, to reflect more and be more calm. And I think that's a way, but I'm still searching and finding it out because I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah. The strangest thing, and you might not believe me, is when I saw you in a Maasai attire, you didn't look like a tourist. You look like you knew what you're doing. So it's either you or the ancestors. I mean, I saw you in those attires and you belonged.
Yes, I think my family is really welcoming, and I feel in a way one of them, but also in a way not at all one of them, because they can jump. When I'm jumping, it's nothing. I find it difficult because I feel like in Holland sometimes, I think I belong in Holland, but sometimes I can be a little bit of an outsider. And in Tanzania, I feel the same thing. Like I can't speak the language, so that's difficult. I feel love, but I also feel like I feel rich in a way. In Holland, I'm not rich, but but for my family in Tanzania, I am. It can be difficult, but it's also a richness.
I like the way you try to be very Dutch, but then also very Tanzanian diplomatic. Identity is difficult. I mean, just being a kid is difficult. But then also, for me, the way I look at it is you get the best of both sides and you get to cherry pick.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing to how to think about it.
Because otherwise it can get to the negative and becomes very difficult, especially if you're always the other. Because if you live in a community and you feel either they make you feel like the other or you feel like the other. As humans, we have insecurities naturally. So feeling like the other, you don't have to try really hard. I'm taking it from you. Classical music is very structured. I mean, I've seen classical fans who, if you play the note a bit lower or longer or shorter, it's a fight. The world isn't it. So it's too rigid. You know what I mean? I prefer jazz and improvising because, like this conversation, I don't know where it's going to go, but I know it's going to get great stuff, hopefully. Or hopefully I'm going to walk away knowing something I didn't know before. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, there is a freedom that is uncertain, and that's the nicest thing about it. And in classical music, it's really like nothing. If you are too free, it's wrong. Yeah, that's true.
In fact, I remember not so long ago, let's say if you're an African or you had African descent, you could not do it. Everybody asked, why is she singing that? Or do you think it's opening up? Would you say it's opening up? The biggest classic artists are still the same. So are you opening up the session for everybody else?
Yes, I try to. And I think it's necessary as well because it's kind of old.
Yeah.
And gray hair. There needs to be a way to find new audience because they have not the eternal life, of course. But I think it's also happening a lot already. So there are new pieces, new composed classical pieces, and there are festivals to create new material. Yes, I think it's happening, but I think it's also still a long way to go in a way.
Do you do new material? Do you do your own new material?
Yes. In my last two performances, I worked with a composer. Mzungu is the name of my second piece. My dad wrote a book, and there are all Maasai blessings inside. So I took pieces of those blessings, and with the composer, we made them classical. So the text is Maasai, because I can speak Maasai, of course. So my brother was talking like the text, and then we tried to make it like longer notes. And so I think when I will sing my new composed pieces in Maasai line, I don't think they can really understand the thing what I'm saying. But it is really based on their traditional music. So that's interesting. And with my last piece, Mtoto, I use songs of jazz musicians like Nina Simone,
I love
Ella James, Ella Fitzgerald. I took a few songs of them, kept the text, the lyrics, and then also transformed it in a electronical, classical kind of new song. Yeah, so I try to create new things.
You took all the great icons, and by the way, were there only women that you chose? Why did you choose classical iconic women and mostly African Americans?
Because I love the music. That was really the part to nourish the black side. There was also a African lady.
Miriam Makeba. Yes, Miriam.
Yes, Kilimanjaro was a song. Yeah, I don't know why it were only women. I think just because I like the music. Maybe because I am a woman. I don't know.
Perhaps. But your many things. Did you know the funny thing is Miriam Makeba's most known song, Malaika, was written by a Kenyan?
No, I didn't know that.
And Hakuna Matata was a tourism slogan back in the day.
Hakuna Matata?
Yeah. It was a tourism slogan.
Is it a Kenyan?
Yeah, it was Kenyan before the world took it over.
I thought Tanzania.
A lot of Africans speak Swahili, like probably half of it.
Yeah.
And Siri is secret in Swahili. Siri, like the one on your phone.
Yeah.
And Safari, the browser, is just Safari for Swahili. So there's a lot of Kenyan influences in these things. That's the same thing I'm seeing, like when we were talking about you picking African American women, and you might not have thought of it, but you see the ancestors are going before you. If I was to joke about it.
Yes, it's true.
At this point, we're going to take a slight break. When we come back, you're going to be joining me and Nienke Nasserian in conversation. But right now, I'd like to tell you about the new book that I just put out. It's called Road to Marsabit. Think about it like a road trip in picture form, coffee table type of deal. If you can, when you can, and you're on the browser, go to Amazon.com, type Daniel Duwa, Daniel Duwa. You'll see the books out there. You can support me that way. And also, if you so inclined, feel free to support this production in kind or in whichever way you can find in your heart to support this work. There are links beneath the show. And also remember that you can always Google Daniel Duwa, Daniel Duwa, Daniel Duwa, and support in that way. In the meantime, I like us to go back because this conversation is really, really awesome. Again, if you're enjoying it, let me know. I'm easy to find. All the links are in the description box below.
It's amazing. So now after school, after the 6 years at the conservatoire, you start working in jazz. I'm assuming it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were some challenges.
No, definitely. Yeah, still there are.
What are those, like outside of the pandemic, before the pandemic, what were the challenges? What are the challenges now? And probably, how are you dealing with those challenges?
I think, in a way, it's challenging that you are... It feels like sometimes people decide your future because you have to audition, of course. Yeah, people are choosing if you are fitted for a role, for a part, or if they think you are the one or you're not. When you get a lot of no's, you get insecure, or you get to doubting yourself. What am I gonna do? Is this for me? Just the questions like, can I do this? Blah, 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 blah. That's challenging. And if you don't have a job for now, it's not steady, It's not steady, not a steady income, not a steady job to do.
Yeah. And the funds too. You never know how the funds are going to react.
No. So it's really, you are dependent on a lot of things that are outside yourself. How do I work with that? Yeah, I think just to keep doing it and keep believing in myself and keep thinking like, okay, when it's my turn, or when the universe wants that I get this part, I will have it, So I think kind of a belief that it will work out in a way, but that can be challenging.
Thanks for opening up about that. What would be some of these roles that you really, really dream of and really want and worked really hard for?
I find it difficult because I don't really have like one big role that I definitely want to sing. I really like the way it's going now, so I have a lot of different things to do, and so I would like to play my own performances more regular, and that that an agent helps me with selling my shows, because that's also sometimes difficult to do as a starting artist, to do everything yourself. Like, you have to write a lot of emails and a lot of people, and you have to try to call and think, do you have a place, blah, blah, blah. What was your question again? You started talking and I don't know.
I mean, you're on track, because my question would be like for instance, are there some places you'd want to play, some people you want to play with, but you said you really want to play your material too? And that's exciting for me, because I find as an artist, when you're starting out, when you need the most help, is when you don't have any help because you have to do everything. But then when you get to like a performing stage and you're noted now, you have all these people working with you. So you lose yourself very easy because you're so used to doing stuff, and then now you have nothing to do. You can't even write because people are writing for you. I've seen a lot of artists lose themselves that way.
Yeah. That's really the paradox of being an artist, I think, in a way. Yeah, to keep true to yourself, but then in the end you also want help. So and it's also, I think, sometimes when I get help, I think it's difficult to let it go, like to not hold it, like, but I want to do this and this and this and this. And if someone says, maybe you can do this, you think, okay, I have to trust this person that is helping me. And he also knows what is a good direction or what is a good way to do things. I hope, like, for me, that the thing that I want to play in, that's the coolest thing, that it's not existing yet. So that it still needs to be created, and that it would be a very cool project with new composed classical music that's not there already.
But that's why you're an artist. You can create yourself. Yeah. And what let's say in this perfect composition and performance and stage, let's say global stage, the whole world is watching, and you bring the Dutchness, which we see as a structure, what would be the African things that you bring into this concert? Let's say you'd play or you'd want to, or whatever it is.
I think I like to challenge if it would be possible to the audience is participated in the piece in a way. Because I think in Tanzania, at least, if you are singing, it's always with everyone. Nobody is really watching. It's just a participation of the whole community, and everyone is doing it. Everyone is dancing. Everyone is jumping. Everyone is singing. And in Holland, of course, you have to really divide from the stage and the audience. So maybe you could do something that the audience is sitting on the stage, or that they have to do something. They have to sing as well. In Holland, that would be very scary for the audience.
I just saw the new Jay-Z's project, an art installation, and he had people throwing words and he rapped to the words. The same thing you're saying, and it's so strange that you'd say this because it's the essence of African music. It's called call and response. In Africa, we don't sit. You call and respond. You say hey, and then we say hey, and then you say hey, and then you know it's oneness. Yeah.
It's like a reaction on each other, and in Holland it's nothing. It's like only when the end, then they clap.
But then to be fair, it's cold, and they took the land from the sea. They've already worked really hard.
Yes.
Right now I'm looking outside my window and it's pretty sunny and beautiful. So
that's nice. Here is not at all.
Yeah.
So maybe that's also different. And bring the sun.
I mean, if you took your time to drive through the snow, it's only fair to sit and enjoy the concert because you don't know when it will happen again.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. But I think call and response is the essence of music, and it's a very African thing. Even in churches, I remember when I was a kid, I wasn't big on church because it was just boring. It was all in Latin. Nobody understood what. And then now they started dancing in churches, and it became a big problem. And now the whole world is copying the stuff. Look at the mega churches. Look at the concerts. It's yeah. So I think you're very African. You just probably haven't checked.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome. Moving forward, what are you looking forward to in the next couple months, probably a year and a half, something of that nature? And before I even ask that, you laugh a lot, which is great. What makes you so happy? What makes you happy?
What makes me so happy? I don't know. I think what makes me so happy? I think I'm really grateful that I can do what I like, because that's a privilege, and I'm aware of that.
But sorry. Let me just confirm that.
Yeah.
if you work so really hard to get to where you are, is it still a privilege? I think you deserve to. It's not a privilege,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, but
But
I
it's
think
privilege to do it. It's privilege to do what you love. Because nowadays people confuse that and say, oh, you're not worth your title because you're privileged, you're doing what you want. But you've worked really hard. You've been working
yes, of
since you were a
course.
child.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I think if I see for my brothers and sisters in Tanzania, they have to work and do things that they don't like, or it's difficult to find another way. I think they couldn't be a singer. Yeah, you think they could?
I feel it's not only a Tanzania or an African thing. I think it's a world thing. People are scared of getting out of their comfort zone for most part.
Yeah.
But then also there's the society expectation, even in your family in Holland or Dutch. I never know what to. Yeah, so in your family in Holland, I'm guessing not all your siblings are musicians.
No, of course. No, that's true.
It takes a kind of person, and sometimes it comes from a place of heart, sometimes it comes from a place of pain. I don't think
Yeah.
it comes from a place of happiness initially. You find happiness as you go with, or you're just frustrated with everything and you try to ask everybody to do something and nobody does anything. So, like your perfect concert, imagine
Yeah.
if you had a concert like that in Holland, it'd be amazing. So I feel like it takes a lot of work, and I think we need to admit that, because for you to get to this level of performance, you've done a lot, and we need to
Yeah.
clap to that. But then
Yeah,
also
that's true.
celebrate and listen to your new work and support that new work, because we also sometimes we'll be like, do it the way it's been done over and over again. I mean, everywhere in the world, it's just difficult. Even in my country, in Kenya, for example, 25 years ago, you could not be a musician because people said you are crook or whatever it is. We turned that around, and now we have some
Yeah.
of the best artists in the world. It's a lot of work, and you are a living example of this, right?
Yeah, maybe that's definitely true. That not that I'm the example, but more that is when you really want something, there was always a way possible to do it. I also agree with the being in a comfortable way, like when it's something is really scary, like you have the comfort and you have the scary part, and I think to grow you really have to be lots of times in the scary, like in the insecure. You don't know what it's gonna be, if you are gonna like it, or if you think but it's like a discomfort kind of way, but then the most beautiful, exciting creations are getting made. And I think to challenge yourself to be outside this comfort zone,
Yeah.
that's indeed a way to have the nicest life. And sometimes if you do that, it can be terrible. Like if you say, like, after you're finished, you say, that really sucked. But then it's always better, I think. Like, my belief is it's better to do it, and then the result can be not great, but I've done it. So if you are living by the I'm just doing it and we'll see what happens kind of mode, I think that's indeed the nicest life. I hope, I think.
I agree with you. And on difficult days, or sometimes you get really happy and you feel like undeserving. I always tell this to myself: people like roses, and roses grow from thorns.
Yeah. Yes, that's nice. Like also with the seed and the plant, like you have to put the seed on the ground and you have to wait and you have to nourish it, you have to water it, you have to, I don't know, put on some antibacterial things like that. It can grow, but it takes time. When I'm impatient with myself, then I think, okay, I'm just watering the plant. I need to be patient. It's okay. You have to keep that in mind. And I like the rose example as well. Like, you have the good days and the bad days, but in the end, you go to a certain place. Or you are there already. I don't know. Maybe that's also, like, today, everything is already good. I like that kind of, I like that as well.
But there are found people who, when you look at them, you feel like they have the world in their hands. They're not the happiest people because what do I do now? You know what I mean? And speaking of plants, I'm seeing you have very healthy plants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
it's not only music, you're watering them and you're giving them sunlight. I don't know where you're getting sunlight from.
No.
How do you deal with the gloom over there?
With the?
With the weather? I mean, because you have not very sunny days, and that can get very gloomy quickly.
No. How do I deal with it? I take vitamin D in the winter.
What does that do? Sorry.
Like the vitamin D you get from the sun.
Yeah.
But because there is no sun.
It's right there.
Yes, you have it, but I don't have it. So I have to take like a little box with pills. And then in the winter, I take a vitamin. Yes, really, it helps. I need to take it.
That is so weird. That's the weirdest thing I've ever had. You know.
Yes. Like the sun helps also to be not depressed. And then the vitamins are giving you the energy the sun gives you.
Okay, you should just move to Africa. You're African, just move to Africa. So, you know.
It's a good idea.
Mm.
Yeah.
One thing that might be a bit sensitive, and I don't know if you want to put it out here. You spoke about your boyfriend. When did you meet him? How did you meet? I don't know if you want to put that out. You don't have to.
We are like a long time already together. When I was this year, we are 10 years.
Oh.
10 years together. Thank you. Yes, it's long. Yeah, it's really, really nice. He has a stable 9-to-5 job, and he is very structured. So I think it gives me rest. Like I'm a bit crazy. I have to do this, and then I have nothing, and blah blah blah, and then like I have a little bit of unstructured life, and he is like the balance and the steady and the rock in a way. So that helps, and it's just nice. We have a lot of fun. It's funny because my family always asks, "Are you married yet?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to get married." And they're like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah. But what is marriage, though? Because if you're living with someone, do you need a piece of paper to say this is the person you chose?
No, that's why I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm good like it is right now.
But the opposite of that is for legal reasons, you know. So there's also that. I mean, we have to acknowledge both sides.
Yeah, it's true. I think in Holland, it's especially when you are getting children together, it's just easier. Like you have the love part, of course, but you have also, it's just easier because when something happens to you, then it's just a legal thing indeed.
Yeah.
But also that I don't have children, it's also, now when I was in Tanzania, my sister said to me, you can have a baby for me if you want. Because she was sad that I didn't have a child yet. But you can have one of mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
Wow, amazing, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's choices, right? It's choices and living, I don't want to say your best life because it sounds like a cliche, but it's living the life that you're figuring out as you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there should be, this is where we do it, because I mean, those ways haven't worked. So we need radical new ways, different ways, say, not even new ways, because that old system doesn't work, but we don't have the next system. So what do? We need to figure it out as we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true. And I think it's an exciting thing to just try to think, like, what do I want? And not because my mom or father or my parents did something in a certain way, so I have to do it also in that certain way, but that you keep asking yourself, what do I want? What is good for me? It's so normal in Holland at least, it's so normal to work and then marriage, then children, I don't know, a dog.
And that's very Tanzanian too, and very African too, right? It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's with my families. Everything is like a lot of my brothers and sisters already have children, and I am really old for them that I don't have any child already.
The question would be, if you look outside of those villages, let's say, like if you take your family as a village or your community as a village where you grew up, and look outward, you'll find a lot of people who still don't have kids. So, because one of my mentors, she's 73 and she's never had kids in her life.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there are other people who've had 10 kids and they're okay. So there's something you said before. It's where the journey takes you, but you gotta lead the way somehow. Nobody comes knowing how to figure this stuff out, right?
No. My boyfriend always wants to plan.
Yeah.
Like, and what is this? Blah, 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 blah. But I always think, yeah, but maybe how you are planning it now, it won't be possible because I don't know. It's just you can't plan things. Of course, you can plan a little bit, but not for me. I get if it's planned too much, I get like tense. I just want to be in the moment and feel what feels good today and not in a week.
For me, I've been trying to find that balance because I'm very structured, but then I'm also not very structured. I'm structured in what I do and stuff, but then when it comes to this, you just trust the process in a way.
I totally agree with that because you can't control. Like, I also want to, I want to know that something is going to work. I want to do it efficiently. I have that structural part as well, but sometimes you also have to let go and think and trust that it will turn out okay. But everything is a balance, yeah.
The other thing I'm discovering is, especially when stuff doesn't work, you get another chance to improve it. And when it works the first time, you learn nothing.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Yes, that's really true. The discomfort part helps. Helps the growing.
Yeah. And especially now that we are living in a world where people are feeling frustrated and suffocated, you create very beautiful things that you put in the world. I know it's unfair to ask, but I'm just going to ask anyway. How do you get re-energized and as happy as you are? And, the Dutch structured girl, but also the Tanzanian girl who's happy and brilliant and, just brings us this happiness into the world.
How do we get that?
From you.
From me?
Like from your view.
I think it's really personal, but for me it really helps to write. Every morning I try to write in my journal. I can be really in my head, and if I write, it's on the paper, so I don't have to think about it anymore. For me, it really helps. And I try to I try to find things to get supporting in the meditation of yoga. For me, it works to be grounded in a way in the busyness of the life or something. But I think it's challenging to find the time to do those self-care things. Because when I'm busy, I forget to write and then I get stressed and then I think, oh shit, I didn't write for 2 weeks. And then I start writing again and then I feel better. So I know it helps, but you get life gets sometimes in the way to balance that out, and meeting with friends, that helps for me. Best advice. Yeah.
Do you think it's easier in Holland or easier in Tanzania to get this balance? Where would you think it would be easier?
For me in Holland, I think, because with my last trip, I really noticed that I find it hard to get used to the slowness of how things work. And it's just getting on my nerves, and I get irritated, and I get, this doesn't work, I hate this, and then it's not good for my Zen. Yes, but maybe it's also because I'm not long enough there, so I'm only there for 2 weeks or a little bit more, and then in those 2 weeks it's just really annoying when it takes 3 days to get a permit to see my family, because then I only have 11 days or 10 days to see them. So maybe when you are there for a long time, you can just get used to the way of how it works, But for those 2 weeks, for me, it's terrible.
I'm with you there, and I was like that. I'm learning to chill, just calm down. It's the hardest thing. I think you have to have a mind switch. Literally, I'm a city kid, and when I go out of town and it's a small village, when it gets dark, I start freaking out because what's happening? It's only 7. Why are there no lights everywhere? Why are there no people? And everybody laughs at me. And the first day I'll freak out totally, like, what's going on? They do exactly what you're doing now. They laugh and they go like, how? What's wrong with you? But then the second day you're just like, okay, it's going to be weird. It's not going to consume you or anything. Yeah. But it's going to be quiet.
Yeah.
And quiet is scary. But then quiet is also really, really great.
Yeah.
So just finding that balance.
Also what you were saying with the cherry picking, like, and be grateful for the things that, I don't know what to say.
Say it in Dutch.
Dat je aan kan overgeven. Eraan kan overgeven. Dat you really can land in the things that sometimes maybe, scare you, or the things that irritate you, or the things that are difficult. In those moments that you can find the things that are useful and that are where you are grateful. I think that's always the challenge of life, but also the excitement of life.
Yeah. Very well said. Do you think there's anything I've left out that you probably want to talk about, or you want to talk about, or you want to raise?
Ooh, no, I don't know. I liked it. It was like a philosophical, do you say it like that? Philosophical way of talking.
I saw your glass of water. I have my coffee and my water.
Yes, I have also.
Cheers to you.
Cheers, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Also pink, both. That's nice.
Yes. And cheers.
Cheers.
And that's why, for me, it's just a connection of human beings. So that's why I call it conversations, because it's just conversation, and we don't get to do that a lot. And I'm glad that we had a great conversation, hopefully. It wasn't therapy. It didn't feel like therapy. It's just conversation.
Yes, no, but it's for me, it really, I like it when you are trying to give words to the things that are in your mind, but it's a conversation, of course. But yeah.
And your albums are called Mzungu and Mtoto, the current ones.
Yes. My first performance was Maasai, my second Mzungu, and my third one Mtoto.
Okay. I'm seeing where that is going. The next one is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to listen. Do you have an idea what the next project is going to be?
Ooh, yeah, well, I want to make a documentary with footage of my family, where they live, of Goyle, and then I want to make crystal balls to make a kind of a film music kind of way that goes with the documentary footage. Yeah, it's still not clear yet. You were looking at me very like, okay.
I'm excited, really excited, because that makes sense. Yeah? You're fusing all as part of you.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I think it could work.
It will work.
It will work.
Just when and how.
It's already working.
Yes. So Crystal Ball, the family, where's the place called? I forgot.
Ngoile, yeah.
Ngoile.
In the Ngorongoro. They live in the Ngorongoro reservation.
Okay, I can't say that word.
Ngorongoro, you don't know it.
Gorogoro. Yeah. Ngoile and Gorogoro. And it's going to be a crystal ball documentary, music fusion. It's going to be in there too, mixing it all together. When are you envisioning this to come to life?
When?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe next year? But I have already, now with my last visit, I made with my phone like a little footage, but it's not really professional. So I was thinking if I would go with a crew, like a film crew with one cameraman, for example, then maybe it would be already much more difficult to find the intimacy that I have with my family, because there is a camera, and to find this connection again. Yeah, like
that's a great project. Oh, and this stuff that you're wearing, what does it mean?
Oh, this is I got from my sisters, and this is from my rings are from my grandmothers in Holland.
So you're carrying your whole family heritage everywhere you go.
Yes, I have them all.
That's a very Wakanda move.
Yeah.
Probably in closing, where do we find your music? Where do you want to send people? What do you want to tell people out here?
I have a website, nienkenasserian.com. I'm recording Toto in English.
Would be nice. Yes. But personally, I'd want you to record it in all your glory, in Dutch, in English, in Swahili, in Maasai. It would be really, really cool.
That would be nice. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Then I have to improve my Swahili.
One of my favorite artists, Angelica Kidjo, sang Malaika when she was still speaking French. And she improved over time. Celine Dion sang English song when she was still speaking French.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you said before, music is a universal language. Give this stuff to the world and then let people enjoy. We need this stuff. We're crying for this stuff. It's been difficult.
Yes. This is nice. I feel inspired.
I feel that I start talking to you. I didn't ask you, what's your favorite food? So let's say, let me put it this way. What's your favorite food in Holland and what's your favorite food in Tanzania?
In Holland, I like, just in Europe, I think pizza. But that's really Italian, actually. So pizza is my favorite. In Tanzania, I always eat samosa. I like that the most. Samosas. And if I choose between meat, I go for chicken. But in Holland, I try not to eat meat. So, no, I try to eat vegetarian.
Okay.
But that's not possible in Tanzania.
No. I mean, the animal is just standing there.
Yes.
Not of course, a lot of sun. Why do you want me to go,
eat grass?
Yes. I think health is really important. And even in this country, it's not rare. I mean, like you walk to a vegetarian restaurant, but then you realize we've always had a vegetarian restaurant. For us, it wasn't defined and now people come and define, it's vegan. No, but it's been there forever. And that's the beauty of being in Kenya, and especially in Nairobi, because we are totally mix of everything. So
yeah. Everything is possible.
So I mean, do you?
Good.
Yeah. And in these days, I think we're discovering just being happy, being calm, living the life you want to live.
Yeah. Be yourself.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I speak fake English, so I learned it on TV.
But it works. It's perfect.
Hopefully, thank you. Oh my goodness. So I take it this will be just one of the many conversations we're going to be having. Especially, I'm looking forward to all your new projects. And if you come around, Kenya, let me show you around.
When I'm in Nairobi, I will definitely. I wanted to say I also want to go to Mombasa, but.
Amazing. And the last question I asked for this, because otherwise this won't end. It's so much fun, yeah? What centers you at this point in your life?
I think also singing itself, because you are singing is breathing with sound. But then I need to, all the critical things that I have to throw that out, and then singing would be very centering.
Good one.
But I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
That question I asked again just for me because I needed you to reaffirm. I need to start writing every day again, at least 2 or 3 poems.
Yeah, keep focus.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question. Like, okay, give me one thing I can hold on to as I go. Right. Yes. Write poetry.
Every morning, first thing you do.
And the beauty with being an artist, it doesn't have to be one thing. It will be all those things. And I was so excited to listen to your ideas for the next project because it's all these things that you are.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let me leave it at that. I've really had fun. Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah.
I had fun, and I've been meaning to talk to you for a while, and now I'm so more excited about this. So.
Yes, I'm really happy that today still could worked it out.
Yeah,
Trust. It will work out.
Yeah, it always does.
The other things.
Oh my goodness. So on that very high note, I want to say thank you very much. You've been great.
Yes, thank you.
And I think this is why I do this. It's so much fun.
It's really nice. Yes, I liked it as well.
It's been a pleasure.
I hear I have a rehearsal now. So it's really good timing.
Yes, spiritual. So let me say goodbye. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
Good stuff.
So nice.
Bye-bye. How do
Thank
you say bye-bye in Dutch?
you. Doei.
Doei.
Doei. Yeah.
Doei. Okay, doei. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Kwaheri in Swahili.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You have just listened to one of the most joyful conversations I've ever had on podcast, on television, on film, on radio all these years, like coffee conversation. I assure you, this has been good company. And conversation with Daniel Duwa, the deal is to be in good company, great people doing awesome stuff and living their days and changing the world one bit at a time. I don't know what the most outstanding thing from the conversation that we just had. Let me know. In the meantime, thank you for joining me, and until next time, if you can, remember to pass by the bookstore, Daniel Duwa Books on Amazon. That's how you get supporters. Also, please share, comment. And if you're on a podcast catcher like Apple, where you can leave reviews, please do that. I'd really appreciate that. Also, I'd like to apologize because I'm recording this and life is happening, so if it's not as clear, I apologize. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. Go get the books. It's amazing stuff. In the meantime, thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Until the next one.